from the studios of Clean Fuels Alliance America, this is the Better, Cleaner, Now podcast. Authentic conversations with leaders in the biodiesel, renewable diesel, and sustainable aviation fuel industries. Now, here's your host, Scott Tremaine.
And welcome. This week, Clean Fuels Director of Outreach and Development, Tom Very, is joined by Mahanth Joishy, Fleet Superintendent for the City of Madison, Wisconsin, as they discuss the use of B100 in the city's fleets.
Thanks, Scott. Mahanth, it's great to have you with us this week. It's such a pleasure. You have such positive energy whenever you walk into a room. It's just, you feel it. So thank you for being with us today.
I appreciate that, Tom, and I was actually going to say the same thing about you. The first time I saw you a couple of days ago on this trip that I'm on to visit with the Clean Fuels Alliance, I felt the same way. So the feeling's mutual.
Oh, get out. All right. Well, tell us a little bit, why are we talking to you today? What do you do at the City of Madison?
So thank you. I am the superintendent for the fleet department of the City of Madison. So basically, we're in charge of all the vehicles and equipment that the city needs to do its work. That includes police cars and garbage trucks and fire trucks and ambulances and other things that are needed by all the city departments. Mission critical equipment we all depend on every day. Correct. So we buy and maintain those on behalf of the frontline departments. Some of the ones I mentioned and many others as well, Parks Department, Traffic Engineering Department, Mayor's Office, critical functions. And so we have about 1,400 vehicles that we're running. About 500 of those are heavy-duty diesel trucks, and about 900 of those are lighter and medium-duty vehicles.
And what fuel do you use in those heavy-duty vehicles, Mahanth?
I'm glad you asked. So all of our heavy-duty diesel equipment, that's trucks and construction equipment and things like that, they're running on biodiesel now, or blends of biodiesel of various kinds. So in the winter, we're using B5, that's 5% biodiesel. We're using B20 in the warmer 8 or so months that will start up in March or April for this year in 2024. And we're doing a pilot of 18 units on B100. Using 100% biodiesel that we can use year-round, even in the cold weather, thanks to the Vector system technology by a company called Optimus based out of Pittsburgh. That's a close partner of ours that we found out about through you, Tom. You made that introduction for us.
Well, why don't we talk about that a little bit, Mahanth? I've been working with the City of New York for a while, and we've talked to Keith Kerman, their fleet manager, but he had a school of assistants that he trained up on fleet management and even biodiesel. And so Jonathan Ells is our common friend, I guess. And
that's right.
He used to work for Keith. Now he's on consulting. So he kept telling me about how great you are to work with. You're at City of Madison using biodiesel. And I said, absolutely, I want to meet this guy. And so it was during COVID. We're all sitting in our basements, doing Zoom calls. And I said, well, Jonathan, can you arrange a call and introduce me to your friend Mahanth? He goes, absolutely. And so that's how we met. And from there, I guess I introduced maybe the idea of the B100, that there is a system out there you can use B100 all year round, even in Wisconsin. And so that led to, I guess, your discussions with Colin at the Optimus, Chevron REG, John Sharonson, and you took it from there.
That's absolutely right. So when Jonathan, who's a good friend and has done great work in vehicle sustainability with the City of New York and with other jobs he's had, I immediately said yes, of course. And what I was looking for on that call was how to get above B20. I wanted to do higher blends. Was it safe to do so? Was there any resources out there that could help in getting there? And B100 wasn't on my radar at the time, and I didn't know about Optimus, the company, until that introduction. So from that call till now, we've come a long way. We've had a very successful pilot of B100 for over a year and a half through all 4 seasons, and it's worked quite well through that period.
No problems.
Yeah, which gives us a lot of confidence that going forward, we can add more units and not disrupt our operations. Our operations are the number one priority, so we have to be able to plow the streets in a winter storm.
If that doesn't happen, the mayor starts getting phone calls.
Well, she's going to get phone calls anyway. So the social media looks absolutely horrible around every snowstorm we have, no matter what we do. Even if we plow and salt very diligently, there's going to be complaints. This is typical of every snowstorm we have. But that being said, if my department doesn't do its job, we're not on the front lines plowing. We take care of that equipment. Yep. My department will get bashed if it turns out some of them aren't working for some reason. And the employees are ready to go and plow, but the trucks aren't ready. That would make myself and my team look quite bad. And thank gosh that hasn't happened yet in my 6 years.
Fantastic, and we don't want that to happen. We absolutely do not. So biodiesel-powered snowplows are you're making it work in tough conditions. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe for every department, we collaborate with them to buy the vehicles and equipment we need. So I don't personally do it unilaterally. For example, I don't say you have to do this or that. Whether it's biodiesel or electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles, the soybean-based tires, we've got over 1,500 of those. Right? From Goodyear.
Well, these soybean guys, once they get into you, then they'll start throwing all kinds of other products out at you. Isn't it amazing what they do?
It's actually, the soybean plant is very interesting. It's got a lot of potential use cases for human needs. So we have very good soap products in our garage facilities made out of soybean. I didn't know that.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, no joke. And I use it myself when I'm at work, when I wash my hands. But it could be used even for heavy-duty grease that might get on your hands if you're a mechanic, like most of our employees are mechanics. In my shop,
there's so many things we could talk about. So if I got a set of Goodyear soy tires in my car. I love them. But the thing about this, tires need to be have good traction during the winter, but usually they get stiff, and this kind of threads that needle. But I tell the soybean guys and the Goodyear guys, it's like we'd rather have the oil to make biodiesel. But anyway,
right? Yeah, I guess there's competing uses, right? For this oil
it's a marketplace. Step if you want it, step it up and pay for it.
Yeah, there's soaps. There's the tires I mentioned, which it all started because our police officers really liked it in the winter traction that the soybean tires get.
Okay.
Made by Goodyear, developed by Goodyear. Interesting story there. And like I said, we have 1,500 of them. We've convinced a lot of other fleets to look at these tires as well.
What is the operators, any reaction on the B100, the biodiesel use, good, bad?
So what we're finding is there isn't much change to the way the operators work, which is what we want. There's two things we look for. We check in with our mechanics frequently. Are you seeing different problems on the mechanical side when it comes in for inspections or repairs? Because of the vector system, and we're not seeing that, which is great news. And then from the operator side, this will only work if the operators agree that it's working for their operation. So if it affects the garbage trucks or recycling trucks or plow trucks and the way they operate, if it was a significant amount of downtime because of this vector system, it simply wouldn't work for us. So that's why we did it as a pilot to start in partnership with Clean Fuels Alliance America and REG and Optimus. Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board and United Soybean Board have all been a part of it. It's a big, great partnership, in my opinion, with the City of Madison and these entities.
Yeah, the City of Madison is a great partner. I guess it all starts with your mayor, which you introduced me to your mayor a while ago, and she is totally awesome.
Yes, and she mentions it all the time. So Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway is my boss. She's in her second term. She's been very supportive. She cares a lot about the Wisconsin economy and climate change being a potential threat to us and in a wider space. And so she has been very supportive of these efforts, specifically around biodiesel. She's knowledgeable about it. She understands it, which is very helpful when you have a supervisor that allows you to try these new things and take these risks, to be honest. When something's new, it's a risk, and a lot of folks in my industry, the fleet management industry, are risk averse.
Absolutely.
And my team, when I got to Madison, was not interested in doing biodiesel, and they had to be either convinced or they left, which was very convenient for me. Most of them are gone now. So, and I have a whole new team that's working on implementing this plan, and there's someone I want to mention. Rachel Darkin, our chief of staff, runs our fuel program with several other staff, and they all are the ones who day-to-day work on the fuel program, making sure all of the tanks are filled throughout the city, making sure all the tanks are working, the dispensers are working. A lot of work involved in that, and making sure we're getting deliveries. And so I'd like to give a shout out to Rachel Darkin for running this program forward.
All right, Rachel.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell her thanks.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm very lucky. I have a great staff who's willing to try new things, take these risks. I have great partners at the other city departments who are our customers, willing to try these new things. Another shout out is Charlie Romines, the superintendent of the streets department, which has most of the trucks on B100 and has been willing to partner with us on that. And again, as our customer, we have to make sure they can fulfill their frontline mission. We do not compromise their frontline mission. And so far, so good on biodiesel.
I haven't met Charlie, but he sounds like a no-nonsense guy. If it better work.
It better work. Look, I totally understand that point of view. We will only be able to grow this program for us or for other fleets by demonstrating that it works.
Well,
right?
that's the neat thing about you, Mahanth, and your team and the City of Madison. You're willing to be a leader and a pioneer and show the other fleets. I was up at your conference, I think this fall.
Yeah.
And you had a great turnout with fleets from all over the Midwest.
That's right.
And
even further. Yeah.
And even further.
Yeah.
And learning about all the things you're doing on not just biodiesel, but other sustainability aspects, a lot of electric vehicles. So, that was a very good event that glad I attended.
Yeah,
and
thanks for coming from Missouri to Wisconsin. And we had folks coming from all over. It's the Madison Transportation and Innovation Expo that we do in partnership with Wisconsin Clean Cities Coalition and Madison Gas and Electric and Alliant Energy. Those are the utilities that partner with us to put on that event. And we had a lot of folks come over in various displays, and the whole biodiesel community was there, and the soybean community, who are partners. Yes. Great to see friends and partners there.
Yeah. You showed me your wood chipper.
Yes.
That when it becomes electric, you give me a call. Right now, it's diesel using how much? Biodiesel?
So we burn up to 60 gallons an hour of diesel. Right now, that would be B5 in the wintertime, but that's still a lot of carbon dioxide emissions. It's what I would call our dirtiest operation is our wood chipping operation, but very critical.
A gallon a minute of biodiesel it's drinking to chop those trees up.
Yes, so right now it's on B5, but we just worked with Optimus to finish the B100 conversion.
All right.
So now it can accept B100.
Okay.
And imagine the carbon dioxide savings there at B100 running all day on 60 gallons an hour, and that turns out to be about a gallon a minute.
There you go.
If you do the math,
we love that. We liked our members selling you a gallon a minute fuel.
Yeah,
putting that in. So you talk about partnerships a lot, which is fantastic, and you're the key to the whole thing. You work with Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board, right?
Correct. Yep.
And tell us where you get your fuel.
All right, so
your biodiesel.
Yeah, so our biodiesel, something that's great about it, I mentioned this briefly, but the feedstocks are all Wisconsin feedstocks, meaning Wisconsin soybean plant. The oil that comes from that comes from waste cooking oil from Wisconsin. If you've been to Wisconsin, if you've ever had fried cheese curds,
absolutely,
they're awesome. Why do I know that used cooking oil will be sustainable? We will never stop eating fried cheese curds. Forever. Our grandkids are going to be eating them, and we're not going to stop eating them, right? No. And amongst other things, fried wings and French fries and all that. Used cooking oil is renewable, never ends, sustainable.
Yeah,
right?
That's mostly soybean oil to start with. So.
That's right. Right. So you're recycling, which is great. And soybean planting will never end as long as agriculture always will exist.
It's such a foundational crop.
It's a foundational crop for food and for other things. And I actually enjoy a lot of soybean food products. There's one you might not have heard of, Nutrella. Have you ever heard of Nutrella?
Yes.
Have you?
From you?
From me. All right. Have you ever tried it?
No. I think I did. I think it's like, I don't think so.
We need to set up a tasting.
All right. I will accept the challenge. But your fuel is even made in Wisconsin.
It
right
is.
There.
Processed in our county.
In your county.
It's right in our county at a plant that supports many local jobs for the production and distribution of the fuel, and that's through REG Chevron. And REG Chevron's been our supplier of biodiesel and can supply other folks too in our area with the plant there.
Yeah, it's just not far away. It's such a complete ecosystem of biodiesel right on your front doorstep.
Yes, I like to call it circular. We have a circular economy.
Yeah.
It's supporting local farmers who do something very different from the processing folks at the plant, who do something very different from our plow truck drivers at the end user stage, right? Or what my team and I do. But all of these are part of the ecosystem of how you can make clean fuels or alternative fuels work. And something I'd like to mention is that you turn on CNN or Fox or any of these national news stations, they're talking about energy security, or they're talking about domestic production, and we need more. And this is a great example of how we can do that. Why should I be getting my fuel from far away when it can be generated in my own county? Right, with or in my own state at least, or in the Midwest, let's say. I'd love to see.
Doesn't it make sense?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it supports all of the Midwest, and Missouri is a soybean state. Michigan, Illinois. There's so many. Iowa obviously is a big one.
Big Midwest, huge soybean growing area.
Yeah.
Actually, they are the industry that founded our industry, the soybean farmer leaders from early '90s, and because they had a glut of soybean oil, nobody could eat it all, and so now we're worried we don't have enough. I mean.
Yeah, I would like to see production go up. I would like to see expansion. We've worked hard on getting other fleets to look at it, and we're going to keep doing that in my role as trying to set an example and help folks understand it. There's a lot of misinformation out there.
Yeah, I was talking to a Missouri farmer named Pat Hobbs about we don't have enough bean oil. He goes, Tom, I'll tell you how to get more bean oil. I go, what, Pat? You pay me more? I'll grow more.
This is the Better, Cleaner, Now podcast.
I'm Tom Very, and we're speaking with Mahanth Joishy, Fleet Manager, City of Madison.
Good to be with you.
Great to have you. We were talking before the break about where we're getting your fuel, and it's such a circular equation.
Yes.
Sourcing it right there in the state, using it right in the state. So what fleets have really shown some interest in what you're doing?
Right. So this is an example of a team effort here, but something I heard recently that I'm proud of is that some folks from PepsiCo had seen what we're doing in Madison and had seen information about the chipper that you saw. Yeah, and that I think encouraged them to look into this along with the work your group is doing.
Wow.
In tandem, right? It's a team effort.
It really is. I didn't know that. We Pepsi's now looking to do B100 like you're doing.
Exactly.
In their distribution trucks.
With the Optimus system.
With the Optimus technology to meet sustainability goals.
Right, and I think a lot of fleets will be more likely to do something that another fleet has tried and has claimed success in. So PepsiCo is just one example. We've gotten a lot of calls from Canada and from Indiana and from University of Wisconsin, which is in Madison. They've done a test.
Yeah, they need to be doing that.
They've done a test of biodiesel as well. We're trying to get our city metro department, the bus fleet, involved as well. That's something I'm working on. So it's ongoing. There's still a lot of fear or resistance, you could call it. I'm not sure exactly what the word is. Inertia might be the best word. I think in government especially, folks are risk averse. Folks are not willing to try new things. So it's a matter of doing our own thing, getting assistance and information that's correct from the other folks that are the pioneers. And I'd like to call it, there have been some pioneers that we're talking to follow, which includes City of Washington, D.C., Public Works, and City of Ames, Iowa, who are ahead of us on this, who we've talked to before we started. And we got confidence from them, and we'd like to pass that confidence on to other fleets as well.
Well, I head up the foundation, and one of our projects was to work with the City of D.C., Public Works, and in Ames, Iowa Department of Transportation, where we got some EPA money to retire older vehicles and replace them with new vehicles, but they had to be run on B100. So it's been a successful program. I didn't know that was you were connected with that. So
yes.
It's all one thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I've gotten to know the fleet managers in Washington as well as Ames, Iowa, and we talk, and we'd like like to keep talking about biodiesel and other things as well. Where
Right,
we can,
the city aims. I'm sorry, I said IDOT, but IDOT's using it too.
Sure. I think all of us are. Something I like about the fleet management industry is, especially on the local government side, we don't view each other as competitors.
Sure.
We collaborate. We are interested in helping each other out, and we invite each other to events or to visit each other's cities in a non-competitive manner. You could say there are rankings and that kind of thing. But that even extends to my former boss, Keith Kerman. We have continued staying in touch, and we help each other out where we can. We answer questions. We're kind of all in it together, right?
Yeah,
And
he came and spoke at your event.
he did. He was one of the keynotes, actually, in Madison, which was very nice of him to come out from New York City to do that.
Yeah, I know one point of contention, a little bit off of biodiesel, is that you have the first electric fire truck.
Yes.
And he does not.
Yes, so we, in May 2021, put into service the first electric fire truck in North America to be put into service, 37-mile range, made by Pierce Manufacturing right in Wisconsin, and they chose the City of Madison firefighters to be the first folks to test it. And that's something we're proud of as a city of our size. We're like the 81st biggest city in the country, and New York City is the first
now you're
biggest.
bragging.
Right. But we are interested in electric fire trucks and other kinds of electric trucks.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It goes to the fire on the electricity, on
Correct.
electric, but then it gets there, it switches to diesel?
So for the
biodiesel?
pumper, it'll need to switch to diesel for an extended fire.
Yeah.
So basically, it can drive up to 37 miles range on the electric motor. Then it has a backup diesel for the pumper and for if it needs
Sure.
to go further. So at a station where it only goes 2 miles radius, it works for the driving. The pumper is a complicated mechanism
Is
on
that
fire
right?
truck, very complicated, needs a lot of power. So typically, to make that all electric for an extended fire, no one's been able to figure that out yet. There's a lot of things you can't do. There are no electric plow truck heavy duty options yet, for example, because of what plow trucks need to do. So there's nothing out there that can do that. Biodiesel is ready now for that. So the point I'm making is we're studying electric trucks closely. They're not ready yet for extended, widespread adoption, in my opinion. It'll take a while. It's probably going to take till the mid to late 2030s to get close. Because of the grid, how much draw on the grid there'll be, how expensive charging infrastructure is, and we know because we're looking at that for buses and trucks. And it will take a long time to convert because the trucks we're buying now, Tom, first of all, it's taking us 2 years to get them because of supply chain issues, right? So I'm waiting on trucks we ordered 2 years ago still. And so is every other fleet out there, right? It's not specific to us in Madison. It's happening all over. But then we have to run it for possibly another 18 years after that. So a lot of folks who are listening to this might retire before they can convert their trucks. But diesel doesn't require conversion. You can go to biodiesel.
Better, cleaner now.
Better, cleaner now. And also the flexibility that I like, which is I can go to B5 to B20 to B100 on the same truck and then go back to B5 or B20 or regular diesel, any of the above at any time in the life of that truck. That flexibility doesn't exist if I bought a CNG truck, if I bought an electric truck, if I bought a hybrid electric truck, whatever all the options are out there. Diesel and biodiesel and renewable diesel, actually, I haven't tried renewable diesel yet, but I know our friends in New York have. That same truck could switch back and forth between all of those without a lot of harm to your operation. You just have to figure out what you're doing. We know that there's cold weather properties that make us want to go to B5. And there's the warm weather properties that make it easier to use higher blends, right?
Well, talking to your Pepsi friends, PepsiCo Director of Sustainability, David Allen, he really coined the when he was asked, if you're using biodiesel, it's not a 100% solution. He goes, hey, we're looking for progress, not perfection.
That's
we
right.
can't wait for perfection. Why not have some progress until the newer technologies,
Right.
in which probably will be, it sounds like we got a long runway. A very long runway for biodiesel to play a big role in decarbonization.
So, we talked about the future a little bit, which I'm excited about. I'm calling it the roaring 20s for sustainable transportation. And the Clean Fuels Alliance is a big part of it. I'd like City of Madison to be a big part of it. And it keeps me motivated, to get into work. And
my impression of the city of Madison and your mayor is like you talk the talk, but more importantly, you walk the walk. I mean, it's just a complete. I have never been in a nicer maintenance facility than the city of Madison, and it's tell us. Even on that level, you're looking to make it a sustainable operation.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Running a sustainable fleet is not just the vehicle itself, but where do we operate and fix the vehicles? Where do they park? What are the facilities they use? So we're proud that our headquarters is the first LEED Gold certified by the U.S. Green Business Council building that's a municipal auto garage in North America. So first LEED Gold certified municipal auto garage in North America is something else we're proud of, and something else we hope folks replicate. We get a ton of visitors from all over the country to this facility to see how we built it. It's a real testament to our partnership with the city engineering department, and C.D. Smith Construction was the main contractor, Wisconsin-based as well. Supported tons of jobs, that particular project. 9-year project, over 1,000 people worked on it between the city and all our partners. Another great partnership. This is
you say that word a lot, Mahanth.
It's the secret sauce. Honestly,
I agree.
I don't know how to build anything. I don't know how to fix a truck. I don't know how to plow the streets. It's really what we do is the networking and partnerships we built, which is why we're here talking right now. Is an example of that. I enjoy this kind of work. I hope people are listening and might look at, hey, we should do biodiesel if we haven't before. And something else I'd like to say is, I say this a lot when I speak, there's no wrong time to plant a tree, right? A lot of folks might say, I haven't done electric or hybrid yet. We don't have biodiesel yet. Maybe we want to look at it, but we're a little bit afraid to try it. And we're so far behind everyone else. And look at what New York's doing, or look at what Washington, D.C. is doing. But there's no wrong time to get started, and don't compare yourself necessarily to other places. We're not competing. We're in this together. We actually need new communities to come on board, right?
Yes.
To get to our goals, and we're not asking you to compete with us. And maybe we've been doing this since 2018. Great, but if you start in 2024, that's great too, right?
The energy,
the tree will grow.
Energy, you could feel it. If it's real. I'm so glad you put that energy behind our fuels and our trying to develop our industry. So we thank you very much.
Well, the fuels work, Tom. So if we're honest too with what we do. We only do things that work, and again, that's what our customers and our community deserve, and they're the priority above everything. Yep.
So, are you looking to do anything else with Wisconsin soybean farmers? I know they want to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another relationship we like, and they've provided funding to help us with this project that we're talking about, the B100 specifically. And we've gotten another grant recently. We just got word last week that the USDA HBIIP, that's for underground tank infrastructure, focused on B100. We just got matching grant funds up to $248,000.
Did you really?
For that, which we're going to hopefully start next year.
Well, then you probably know Jeff Carpenter very well at the HBIP program. So,
yes.
Yeah, he's been a very great partner in helping our industry get the infrastructure to handle and dispense biodiesel out there.
Yep. So the federal government's a part of the puzzle too, and USDA is going to be a good partner in this. I met Jeff Carpenter at the Biodiesel Conference in Las Vegas.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's where we met, and now he's a regular at our expo in Madison. I don't know if you met him there. He's come to the last couple expos to speak.
He gets out and goes. So he comes with us on our tours, and he wants to learn the industry.
Yeah.
And so he can make very good decisions on where to put those resources. So.
Yeah, so that HBIIP grant for
HBIP.
Let's call it HBIP. Yep, that's a cool name. That is going to help get infrastructure in the ground to make this a permanent solution.
Yeah. What about renewable diesel? Are you looking at that?
So I have been interested in renewable diesel since I moved to Madison in 2017. The problem is two things. Getting supply and the cost of getting that supply are prohibitive in the Midwest. And, one of my goals was, can I get a chain of other fleets to work with?
Good point.
Like a joint purchasing arrangement with some of my colleagues at other fleets to try to bring the cost down, and even so, it's still prohibitive.
Yeah, it lives mostly on the West Coast right now, but your old boss, Keith, has switched his fleet. He was able to crack that nut and bring it into the New York Harbor, and
Right.
he calls it his town, which he means the whole East Coast.
Yeah.
So he's doing, but they are paying a premium for it.
Right.
That you don't have to worry about with biodiesel. So West Coast, they're doing it for low carbon fuel standards, and really, at the end of the day, it's the biodiesel, renewable diesel are the low cost decarbonization fuels that you can use right now.
That's right. That's
seamless. We were visiting the BNSF railroad folks, and they're doing biodiesel. They're looking to expand biodiesel use, and then maybe match it up with renewable diesel. So, California's, I was just out there a few weeks ago talking to a fuel distributor, and it's like this all over the state. You ask for diesel, they're going to sell you 80-20, 80% renewable diesel, 20% bio. It's really a great blend. They complement each other very well.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. Let's do some of that in Madison.
We love what they're doing on both the East Coast and West Coast. We do need more support in the Midwest for this stuff. We need more supply and more demand to get to where we'd like to go. I'd like to be at their level, obviously, on the things we're doing, and we're trying.
I think we got some good news on that. We got some monster renewable diesel plants that are coming online out in California. I think they're gonna be looking for new markets.
That's excellent
We'll
news
see what
to hear.
happens.
So if the supply comes, the prices become reasonable, of course we would be interested because it's got great properties for year-round usage. Doesn't require modification of trucks, right? So renewable diesel is something we would be interested in.
We have a great relationship with engine manufacturers like Cummins and that, and so they're getting a lot of interest from their major customers that buy a lot of trucks. They want to decarbonize, and they see renewable diesel playing a role, but they're looking at the value proposition, and a lot of them are looking at what you've already done. The B100 with the Optimus vector system is probably the most the system that provides the most value or bang for your buck right now.
That's right.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's right. And the vector system, as you know, Tom, and maybe some folks listening might not know, it takes the radiant heat of every diesel engine, which wastes radiant heat anyway, and it traps it to warm the fuel in the winter and keep it running all winter, which is, again, a circular project in a way.
Okay, I didn't think of it that way.
That's how
I
it's
thought
heated
they had
the
a
tank.
special heater on there. No, they're
It's
just
the heat from the diesel engine.
Oh, that's right. It starts up on diesel, then it switches to bio, and it gets a certain temperature. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not a mechanic either, obviously. So,
but that's a good story in terms of you're not wasting more power to heat that system in the winter. You can run it all winter on that.
Yeah, I first met Colin with Optimus at Keith Kerman's Fleet Show. He has every May, and it was 6, 7, 8 years ago, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And as soon as I saw it, well, that makes a lot of sense. And so I think it took him 10 years to sell 100 units. Now he's doing about 100 units a month.
Excellent.
That tells me the marketplace is saying, we want biodiesel, we want that system. They want what you've already done, and you've helped pioneer that. So thank you again.
Yeah, well, we are up to 18 units, as I mentioned. We're looking to expand with Optimus and with RAG. And we just had a really good meeting about that yesterday, in fact, about our expansion plan.
Chevron?
Yeah,
all right,
with
great.
RAG Chevron, and who's the supplier of the fuel, and then Optimus, who puts on the vector systems. And we've been partnering for several years now, since that initial meeting you and I were in that I was talking about.
Yep.
And we are looking to expand. So we are looking to get to our 2030 goals of decarbonizing with 900 EVs and 500 B100 heavy-duty systems.
I like
so
it.
that would get us largely out of fossil fuel.
Well, how close are you now? You got
Long way to go.
18 units. You need another 400 and some
400
80
some, yep.
80. So we got a ways to go.
We have a ways to go, a lot of work to do, but a good challenge, a fun challenge. We're taking on the challenge. We're up to 120 EVs. We have a long way to go to get to 900. In fact, in some of the types of things we need to get EVs for, they're not even ready yet. So there's certain kinds of, we need bigger pickups, for example, to be EV. We need bigger vans and that kind of thing. And some of them aren't ready. Again, I'm confident EVs will improve. The batteries will improve. Ranges will improve. But again, for heavy duty, I'm more confident we're ready for that now on the heavy duty side and the B100 side.
Oh, that's fantastic. Keep up the good work, Mahanth.
Absolutely. Any fleet out there, any individual or family out there who buys fuel for their home, for their organization, land, air, sea, whatever kind of fuels out there, there's potential alternatives out there that might be biofuels. And it's worked well for City of Madison. I'm sure it would work well for other folks as well. No wrong time to plant a tree, right?
That's a great way to end our podcast. It went by fast.
That was fun.
Let's do it again.
Absolutely. Just let me know.
All right, Tom, Mahanth, thank you both. That's it for this week's episode. By the way, if you're enjoying the show and you haven't yet given us a rating and you've got a moment, we would really appreciate it. It is how podcasts grow. And if you really want to go for it, you could leave us a review. We might just read it here. So please do that wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you have a question for our experts or a suggestion for a future topic or guest, you can email us at podcasts@cleanfuels.org. And join us next week for another episode of the Better, Cleaner, Now podcast.
Thanks for listening. Better, Cleaner, Now is a production of Clean Fuels Alliance America. Follow us at cleanfuels.org and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For more information on Clean Fuels Alliance America, visit us at cleanfuels.org.